Hey again everyone, I'm back. This is Martin from How to Make Mobile Games, and this is the making of Clear Shooting Sniper X. So I think this is roughly, now we're on day 7, and the last video I did was roughly 2 days ago. So there's been a couple of changes to the game since 2 days ago, and I just wanted to first off continue where we last left off, because the last video we were talking about was the storyboard scene and having a little bit of story within the game and trying to create some kind of connection with the character and why you're actually trying to take out these bad guys and stop them from getting to the girl who is the girl. So that was in the storyboard scene here, so let me just go to that one. And I don't think you've seen this yet, so let me just play through it. So this is with music in the background as well. It's not activated here, but it will have music. So as you can see, a little bit of story. The storyboards fade up. The text has a slight fade in as well. And basically, the story is that this girl wants some Chinese food. She's mithering a boyfriend. He doesn't want to get up because he's too tired. She says, "Okay, I'll go out. Do you want to come with me?" And he says, "No, but be careful because it's really dangerous at this time of night. And I'm too tired. I just want to sleep. And okay, back soon. I love you." The girl says, "I love you," but the guy doesn't say anything, probably because he's too tired. But I was kind of going for a kind of regret feeling there. Like, he didn't say "I love you" back to the girl, and he also didn't go with her, and he should have gone out with her, because in this game the girl always dies. And that's what I was trying to do in this. I don't know whether that will be actually achieved in the game. I don't know whether anyone will feel any kind of what's the word? Is it cathartic response? Anyway, some kind of connection with the character. I don't know if anyone's going to feel that, but at least it gives some kind of background and some kind of plot as to why we're shooting these guys and who this girl character is. So the way that I did this was basically originally I was trying to fade up these storyboards using in the script by changing the alpha channel. I had some problems originally because I didn't have the right shader on these storyboards. If you want to change the alpha value over time, you need to use one of the shaders that has the alpha channel available. Now, this transparent diffuse does, which is great, but before I was using this mobile particles alpha blended, which doesn't have any kind of color change that you can do inside of the editor. So, and that includes the alpha as well. So I needed to change that to transparent diffuse. And I think in the last video you'd seen that error, so that's the way I fixed that. But it actually turned out to be a little bit more flexible to have the animation, to do an animation fade up instead. So what I did was I just went to the animation editor, and inside of the material section, you can see here the alpha. I've got a what do we call it? We've got a curve in there, and basically this just goes from 0 to 1 over the course of 2 seconds, and there you can see it's fading in and out. This doesn't play automatically. This fade is actually triggered on a delay. So that's the way I was doing it before. I was trying to do both the alpha and the delay time in scripting. But now what I've done is I've just had that fade up as a animation curve, but the animation curve is triggered, is delay triggered. So this script here, this fade object over time, this actually delays it here. So I'm saying here, okay, so activate that fade up after 17 seconds. And as you can see here, storyboard 2, 9 seconds, storyboard 1 after 1 second. So the other thing is this text here, honey, I want some Chinese food, blah blah blah. What I did is a separate script for this one as well. So I actually named this script text story script pop up. The reason I did that was because usually I name things like the name of the project and then the name of the script. But in this case, this might be useful for future projects if I have some other storyboard scenes. So I wanted to name it something kind of generic that would be okay for other projects as well. But this is kind of this should be kind of useful. What I've done is basically listed a bunch of elements here, saying what text I would like to appear in a single text object, which is this one here. So this is the text object that we're changing. The time to show text is, for example, this first line here, honey, I want some Chinese food, appears after 1 second. This next one here, now it's 2 a.m., appears 4 seconds later, 4 seconds later, 4 seconds later. So it's not delayed over like start at 1 second, start at 5 seconds, start at 9 seconds. These are just delay times from the previous pop-up, the previous text which was shown. The other thing is I actually wanted to change the font color, which is kind of useful because we've got two characters here. We've got the girl and the boy, and I've kind of been cliched, I guess stereotype is the word, but I've used blue for the guy and then pink for the girl. And this script should be pretty helpful. And if anyone would like this, then feel free to copy this, or if anyone wants me to paste it somewhere, I can do that. Or perhaps in the description I can paste it. That's no problem at all. Feel free to use this. But this might become useful in the future. So this clears the text object, so it makes it blank, and this starts the update. It calls this function, and this function then updates all the text, causes the animation to fade up. It then applies the text, like the text 1, text 2, text 3, and so on. It also applies the what do we call it? The material that's going to be applied to the text, so whether it's blue or pink and so on. But then I think it also, it calls itself again, so it repeats over and over, but not super fast. It repeats basically every 1 or 2 seconds, or however long the delay that we set inside of the editor. So that's pretty useful. I think maybe if anyone finds that handy, then please let me know. Drop a comment and I can send it to you guys, or give me an email or a message. So the other thing is that I did last night. Now I had the chance to test the game a little bit with some friends here, and so I got some feedback, which is always useful. It's interesting as a developer to see how other people play. It's useful because basically it gives a fresh perspective on the game. You find out if it's interesting or not, because you're kind of, as a developer, you're always emotionally invested, and I probably find the games, more fun than other people would, perhaps just because I'm the one sitting here and coding it. So you always need that fresh perspective, and I always find it really interesting because it helps to clear up a bunch of problems or things that you never saw. So just as an example, I actually took a bunch of notes yesterday after showing some friends. So okay, so one of them was that on the right hand side here, what happens is the girl, she kind of appears and then runs off. Everyone's trying to shoot the girl. They don't know that this is the girl character and this is the one that you're trying to save. So that's got to be clear. Now, I think one way to do that is just to basically make the girl a sort of dark purple color, make the guy, a good guy, like a dark blue color, and then all of the bad guys like pitch black. So then it's kind of clear that that's that the girl is the one that you're trying to save. I'm also going to keep her on the right hand side here, like just in this area, so that she's kind of like crying or sobbing, or it's obvious that you're trying to save her, and because what was happening is people didn't know why they were losing. The instruction text does say, hey, stop the guys from getting past the right of the screen, but instructions that I've found is that people rarely read them. Some people do, I know that, but most just sort of skip past and they want to get in the game and start playing. And as a developer, that's always a challenge of how to make it very, very simple of how to play the game and what you're trying to do, and what is the game over state, what causes you to reach a game over, what causes you to die or whatever. So that's always interesting. So I'm going to keep the girl on this right hand side here. She's going to be sobbing, maybe crying a little bit, and as the guys come closer, I'm probably going to have a white plane fade up and then the screen. That should be a lot more obvious what you're trying to do. You're trying to save the girl. So the other one is that I'm thinking about having the player to tap anywhere to shoot. One of the problems is that on the left hand side, when the bad guys appear, now I can't show you this on the Mac, I'd need to do this on the device, but when your finger goes here over the fire button, it doesn't move. The crosshairs get stuck up here, and it's because this fire button is actually taking the tap detection, and so the update to move the crosshairs is not getting called because it says basically if the tap is on the fire button, then don't do anything. So that's something that I've got to change as well. Tapping anywhere to shoot. So the idea was that my friend suggested is basically we should have it so that you tap anywhere on the screen and you shoot. That's possible. That might happen. But the problem is what I need to test is if you tap anywhere, we don't want the crosshairs to move. We don't want them to suddenly shift away. And now there is a function call inside of Unity that allows you to use if the touch was a move touch, then start to do something. If the touch was just a begin touch, i.e. it's just tapped, then we can also have that as a separate piece of code. So I've got to test that out, but it sounded like an okay idea. I think because at the moment the problem is the thumb is kind of down here on the left-hand side, and you kind of, I want people to tap anywhere. So I'm going to check that out and see what the best way is to handle that.